Yes, I'm in the middle of the field. It's like we're just pushed some guys over. Right here going towards Javelin on both sides. My truck ran out of gas. There's one car here. You got to take the bitch to the woods. Quick burning. And when I talk to him, I show you in his home. That's the first guy.
You need an ambulance?
Yeah. No, I need the cops.
As of 2022, there are 47,000 people missing in the state of Texas. Brandon Lawson is one of these individuals. Brandon Manson Lawson was born November 18, 1986 in Fort Worth, Texas, to Bradley and Kimberly Lawson. Bradley and Kim had 4 children, 3 boys and 1 girl. Brandon grew up to become an oil field worker and was involved with Ladessa Lofton, whom he had 4 children with. On August 8, 2013, Brandon left his San Angelo, Texas home and had not been seen since. On the night of his disappearance, the San Angelo Standard-Times writes, Brandon and Ladessa had a big argument. Brandon had not returned home the night before and had recently relapsed on drugs after being clean for 6 months. As a result of their argument, Brandon left home in his F-150 and headed towards his parents' house, but his parents lived 3 hours away. Shortly after leaving, he ran out of gas on Route 277 around midnight. Brandon called his brother Kyle and asked if he could bring him some gas. Kyle picked up a gas can from Brandon's house and headed towards his brother's location. Brandon then told his brother that he was being chased out of town by the Mexicans in the neighborhood. As he had a history of drug use, Kyle believed that Brandon was under the influence. However, Brandon denied this. The 2 brothers spoke to each other on the phone on and off for the next 50 minutes, and at one point, Brandon was distressed and claimed that he was injured. As Kyle had yet to arrive at his location, the San Angelo Standard-Times reported that Brandon called 911 for help at 12:50 a.m. Soon after, Kyle arrived at the scene at the same time as Chief Deputy Neal. However, Neal had not been called by the dispatcher, but by a concerned truck driver who had seen Brandon's abandoned vehicle. Brandon told Kyle on the phone that he could see him and he was right here. Brandon, however, was nowhere to be found. Kyle was not concerned, as he believed that Brandon was hiding from the police due to an outstanding warrant he'd had. As neither Kyle nor Neal knew of the 911 phone call, they didn't think that Brandon was in any immediate danger. Both parties lightly searched the area for Brandon, but eventually left. Kyle returned in the early hours of the morning to look for Brandon, who he assumed was still hiding, but failed to find him. Officials then searched the area as well, but they too could not find any traces of Brandon. With little to go on, the San Angelo Standard-Times writes, there are several theories surrounding Brandon's disappearance. Some believe that he left on his own volition to start a new life. Brandon had recently cashed out his 401k and had an outstanding warrant. One supporter of this theory is Deputy Neal. He noted, if someone wants to be gone, they can. Brandon's brother Kyle was also questioning the disappearance, but he was later cleared of any wrongdoing. Another theory is that Brandon may have simply succumbed to the elements. Although the area where Lawson went missing had been searched several times over the years, there was one specific spot that was off limits until 2022. Prior to this, the property was private. Brandon's family and a group of volunteers decided to search the area and found clothes that matched what Brandon was wearing on the night he went missing. They then called Texas Rangers. In February, another article from the San Angelo Standard-Times reported that Brandon's family posted an update on Facebook. They said, the Texas Rangers conducted a search that ultimately led them to discover human remains in the area. Although DNA tests are needed to confirm identification, in our hearts, we know that it's Brandon. Now, as of November 2022, the results of the DNA test have not been made public. If the remains are those of Brandon Lawson, they will definitely bring closure to his loved ones. Nevertheless, it might not provide all the answers that his family is looking for. As of this recording, this case remains